Dad, I've actually found learning at home has been better than I thought, and I feel I'm much farther ahead than many of my friends.
You know, we really noticed this, and your mom and I have been thinking how we can make this work. We looked at Laurel Springs School, who offer a personalized approach to learning where you can revisit material on your schedule.
Wow, Dad, that sounds great. I've just been to Laurel Springs School's website. You know, they have classes in all kinds of subjects and a real focus on getting me ready for college.
Yes, it's an online school with great teachers who are there for you. It's a more personalized approach to learning.
Visit laurelsprings.com to learn more about a unique way of getting your child the personalized education they need. For 30 years, Laurel Springs School has been engaging global learners in grades kindergarten through 12th grade and integrating their passions and pursuits. Laurel Springs School. We build an education around you.
Odyssey now has hundreds of new exclusive music stations for you to discover your new summer soundtrack.
Get moving with worthy workouts for a cardio sesh fueled by today's top artists.
Hanging with your crew? Throw it back with Picnic Party for old school jams for your cookout.
Or sail away with Odyssey's new yacht rock station, Jugger Yacht.
There are hundreds of new exclusive stations to check out today.
For summer barbecues,
road trips,
or relaxing poolside.
For every mood, every interest, every passion. By Odyssey. Brought to you in part by Macy's and Geico.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
This is the Men's Room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off the Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Racial consultants are standing by. Let's say caller 9 now at 844-999-OLA, and you'll play Profile This in minutes. But first, Michael, we managed to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we chose a woman only identified as Jen. Jen, like a lot of us, she has a job, but like a lot of us, as the world shuts down to prevent the spread of coronavirus, she's one of the many people that are now working from home. Now, I do not know specifically what she does, but one thing you can't escape, depending on what your job title is the conference call. That's right. Here you are in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to sit through this crap anymore. Well, guess what? You still do. And in this case, she was on a conference call with 10 other people. She knows all 10. It's people that she works with. And believe it or not, this is, they're having a pretty serious meeting. It's about ethical standards in the profession of social work. And frankly, during these times when you're away from work, I'm glad that people in the world of social work are having serious conversations about ethical standards. And it's not that anyone had done anything, but, you go have your procedures, the things to do, the things not to do, because let's face it, in that profession, the opportunity to take advantage of people is there, and these are the people that safeguard against that. So she's there with 10 other people, and in this case, God forbid, it's just a conference call like you used to have with Charlie's Angels phone sitting in the middle of the table and everyone just kind of talks at it. Everyone's at home. They all have their laptops, so it's a video conference. So they're looking at one another and they're having their discussions. And in this case, and Miles, you alluded to this earlier, some people have forgotten to comb their hair, brush their teeth and all this, but people understand that. You're at home. It's a conference call. And
it's your home. You don't think about this stuff.
Nobody cares. And these people are discussing, and look, Jen, she's there doing her thing, and she's contributing to this, but at one point, she has to get up and go to the bathroom. So she does. The problem was simply this. She didn't think about it. She took her laptop with her because she wanted to continue to hear the conversation they're having. The problem is that she did not turn off the camera on her laptop. Making the situation even worse is that when she went into the bathroom with the laptop, keep in mind, she's just kind of listening, not paying much attention, but the way the laptop sat on her lap, the camera aimed directly at her naughtiest of naughty bits. Now, this was not sexually arousing unless you're into this type of thing, because all of her 10 colleagues, they just watched her urinate, like up close and personal. Not like her face and all that. The way the camera was, Right. You saw her just above the waist, and you're just watching this thing spray, but she has no idea. So one of the people, they realized, oh, my God, Jen, what are you doing? They tried to stop her. She didn't catch wind of it. So she finishes her business. And keep in mind, the conference call, it's a little awkward at this point. But she returns to the table. She's kind of smiling, and she looks at the faces of the other people on the conference call. She can't figure it. Like, something obviously has happened. Mm-hmm. So she wants to know what she missed, and she literally asks, quote, what happened? To which the man, as they say in the top left corner of the chat, replies, I saw nothing. It took Jen a moment to piece together the meaning of a statement, but she figured it out and was thoroughly embarrassed. And I suspect her 10 coworkers will just never see her the same again.
No, but they'll have a different mental image when they do see her than they did before.
Garrett, listen, I told Miles about this particular person, and I know this person pretty well, but there was a comment that her husband made about her while I was staying. She was there, too. He's just this kind of guy that's a little graphic, and I told Miles it sucks because every time I see her, this is the thought that goes through my mind. And nothing wrong with her, nothing sexual, it's not that, but he made a comment, so I suspect with this poor woman, Jen, it's like, I saw her pee. Like, it's never not going to be top of mind.
Yeah.
But they all laughed about it. She'll be back at work just as soon as she can. So just remember this. If you're working from home and you're on a laptop and you're doing this FaceTime crap, man, you might want to check your background, check it. What did you say, Miles? Someone had been getting pleasured.
That is correct.
While they were at a class. They didn't realize it, and her boyfriend's head pops up out of her lap. People piece it together. All kinds of things.
Another couple had tried to quarantine themselves. They had gotten a small little cabin that they rented, and she was doing a video conference, but the bathroom was very close to the living room, and all anyone heard was her boyfriend using the bathroom with all the sounds included.
So again, in these different times, if you are going to do the FaceTime thing, just be cognizant of what might be going on in the background. But to Jen, we drink. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola, bitchola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Steve, throw a hug at you, please, tell everyone how Profile This is played.
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Hola. Doing well, Jeff. Thank you.
Jeff, how's your social distancing going?
Well, for those introverts, it actually comes pretty naturally.
So you've been just living the same lifestyle?
That's right, yep.
This is a great time for introverts. I mean, as far as any lifestyle changes, like none.
Yep. Do you work from home?
Yeah, I do. Well, actually, so that is a change. So now I work from home instead of going into the office.
Okay. And you have toilet paper as needed?
No, so that's one of the challenges. But thankfully, my wife has some pretty long dresses.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I like your line of thinking. All right there, Jeff. You understand how this here game is played?
I do, yeah.
All right, Hefe. As always, I have 3 stories in front of me. 2 of them deal with the old tried and true race/ethnicity. One of them, you guessed the drug. Would you like to go drugs or race?
I like drugs.
You like drugs. I like drugs, too. That was not the question. But I'm going to take your meaning and assume you mean the drug story. Here's your story. The guy in this story, depending what you're into, this dude is a good time. Unfortunately, things did not work out for him. We go to, where the hell is this? Crap, I don't remember. Either way, a guy by the name of Tyson Den, he's 27 years old. He was arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of manufacturing with intent to deliver, 4 misdemeanor counts each of possession of a controlled substance and or use of possession of drug paraphernalia, and 1 misdemeanor count of DUI. Now, according to an affidavit, Officer William Size, he was checking the immediate area of an Exxon station at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's looking for a suspect that was involved in a burglary only a few blocks away. Well, the cops saw a blue Toyota Camry at a gas pump, but no one's passing go. No one conducted business inside of the station, and the car was there for 10 minutes. So upon closer inspection of the vehicle, he observed that it was occupied by this guy, Den. Den was unconscious in the driver's seat with his head between the driver door and the steering wheel. And without opening the vehicle's door, all the doors were locked. But the guy did make the observation, okay, this dude is still breathing. The keys are in the ignition. The vehicle is still running. Good, he's not dead. So they called a second officer in, and as soon as that officer arrived on the scene, they finally managed to open the door, wake this guy up, and get him out of the vehicle. One of the cops observed Den being, quote, very unsteady on his feet, couldn't keep his eyes open. And when his eyes were visible, they point out his pupils were, quote, pinpoint. He couldn't answer simple questions, but he admitted that he'd ingested a drug at around midnight. Now, when they checked his car, they found more paraphernalia. They found a plastic bag containing drugs, and the center they found that on the center console. On the front passenger seat was a black book bag. Inside of the book bag, that's where they found a pouch filled with 13 small clear plastic baggies full of a drug, and one bag containing a significantly larger amount than the others. Also looking through the book bag was a black and white zippered pouch containing 392 bundled wax paper baggies containing more drugs. Additionally, a purple pencil-sized pouch inside of the book bag contained more paraphernalia, as well as 2 more white wax paper baggies containing, you got it, more drugs. Finally, the book bag contained 2 digital scales and a small red box of small black rubber bands. 2 iPhones were also found in the driver's seat. Like I said, if you're into drugs, this is your dude.
Jeez. It's like a Russian nesting doll.
It is,
like
but guess what?
Inside of bags.
Well, we have one more little doll to open there, Jeff, because then they looked in his wallet, and that contained 3 unopened packs of Suboxone and about $2,000 in cash.
Oh, my gosh.
So, to put this in perspective, the field test of the drugs tested positive for PCP and fentanyl. Poison control operators said the pills that were found were naloxone, hydromorphone, and oxycodone. This guy's got it all. But the question is, what drug did he ingest that put his ass asleep at the gas station? In spite of all the drugs he had on him, was he on oxycodone, meth, PCP, or heroin?
Oh, boy.
Upper Darby is Pennsylvania. Thank you, Mike. So he's in Pennsylvania. I mean, this guy has got it all.
Did you say the guy's name was Tyson, or was that earlier? I heard the name Tyson.
His name is Tyson Den, yes.
Well, let's see.
I think based on all the rigs he had and everything, obviously he's got some type of heroin product on him. I would think. Yeah. He's knocked out. PCP is not going to knock you out. Meth is not going to knock you out and dilate your pupils. So he's definitely either on heroin or he's on OxyContin. In that area, heroin tends to be more of a city drug as far as the availability of it. Not that it's not everywhere, but it doesn't have the reach that OxyContin does based on it being prescribed. Heroin can be found in a city pretty easy. Once you get out of that area, then it's OxyContin. I don't know where that area is, if it's near Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. No idea. But if it's in the rest of Pennsylvania somewhere, then my guess, Jeff, would be Oxys.
Now, I'm gonna diverge from you a little bit. I'm thinking PCP, but I don't have experience with any of those drugs. So I'm a bad judge of this. But the reason why I say PCP is like the pupils being really dilated. But I hear your point about him like being slumped over. But I don't know what happens like when you're done whacking out on PCP. Do you tire yourself out and?
I don't know.
I guess you probably sleep for days.
All I've ever heard is that you find yourself in jail.
But he just did that drug at midnight, and they found him after that. So it wasn't like he'd been on a bender for
3 hours. It's been about 3 hours.
It was only 3 hours.
Okay. I am going to go with heroin.
You're going to go with heroin, Jeff? Final answer. I'm on the same drug train with you, but I'm going to go OxyContin. All right, we're going to find out if this guy had ingested oxy, meth, PCP, or a heroin next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Venture Radio Network.
Mom, I'm a little worried. I don't feel ready to be back at school.
Visit laurelsprings.com to learn more about a unique way of getting your child the personalized education they need. For 30 years, Laurel Springs School has been engaging global learners in grades kindergarten through 12th grade and integrating their passions and pursuits. Laurel Springs School. We build an education around you. Call or go online today.
Hey, I'm Peter Bukowski, host of the Locked On Today podcast. Trying to stay on top of every big story in sports is a full-time job. I know, because it is my full-time job. But it's not yours. That's why we have a network of local experts ready to give you the inside scoop on everything you truly need to know in the sports world. And we do it every day to make sure you're always caught up on the latest and greatest in sports. Listen to the Locked On Today podcast every day on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, we head to Pennsylvania. On Profile This, we got a guy who's got a bevy of drugs in his car. So many drugs. Why did he get busted? Well, he was asleep at a gas station behind the wheel, and police tried to wake him up. They didn't get a response. Eventually, another cop came. By the time they opened the door, they found all of the things that he had on him, which was a ton of different drugs.
Tons of different drugs.
But I guess the question was, what drug did he take that knocked him out behind the wheel of the car in the gas station?
Yeah, he admitted that to the cops. Said, look, man, about 3 hours before you find me, he ingested a drug. The question for you, Jeff, did you believe the drug was oxycodone, methamphetamine, PCP, or heroin? Now, Miles, you pointed out quickly, PCP and meth typically not knocking your ass out right after you take it.
Not that quickly, no.
Now, one of our listeners, they sent the comment in, they said, man, I'm guessing meth. I was high for a year, fell asleep at work, talking to someone mid-sentence. It happens. Better now for 20 years. Damn.
All right.
But Jeff, we asked you went heroin. Miles, you went oxycodone. Basically saying, like, look, man, they're more... Oxycodone avoids the one illegal drug, which is why it's legal. Heroin has the one illegal drug, makes it illegal, right? So, but either way, kind of knocks you on your ass. But, Hefe, you went with heroin. And even though you say you don't know a lot about drugs, I'm beginning to second guess you.
All right.
Because you are correct, son.
A horse. That was close. Same family of drugs.
Again, I just want to go through what this guy had. They pull him out of the car. He admits that he had done heroin about 3 hours before that, but the first thing they do is search through his bag, all right? And when they open up his bag, it is just absolutely unbelievable. So first they just find, and keep in mind first, just sitting in the console of the car, they found a plastic bag containing drugs. That was in the center console. On the front passenger seat was a book bag. Inside of that book bag, 13 small, clear plastic baggies. One bag containing, quote-unquote, a significantly larger amount. Mm-hmm. They kept going through the bag where they find a zippered pouch that contains 392 bundled white wax paper baggies containing more drugs. Then they find another pouch in the bag that contained drug paraphernalia in addition to 2 more white wax paper baggies with more drugs. Finally, as they look through the book bag, they find 2 digital scales. They also find a big group of rubber bands to keep those bags shut. Then they look in his wallet and say they just want his freaking ID. But no, inside they find 3 unopened packs of Suboxone and $1,921 in cash. When they test all the drugs they found on this dude, PCP, fentanyl, naloxone, hydromorphone, and oxycodone. Like I said, if you're into this stuff, this man was a one-dude party.
He was the guy.
Good.
He took down quite the operation.
Yes.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, Armageddon. The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
What the hell am I still doing here?
Oh, my God, it's Mike Hawk, everybody.
I thought I was supposed to be done with this crap by this week.
Oh, no.
Now you got to keep watching television.
I do, man. I've actually been forced into isolation, watching TV all weekend, just on the case that I might actually be coming in here and doing this again. Mm-hmm. So,
not because you're at home and there's nothing else to do and you wouldn't watch TV normally.
Not at all, man. Right, I am diligent and I work for you, the people. That is why I'm in here today.
We appreciate it.
So, let's see here. In the times of pandemic, lockdown, and isolation, a lot of people have been working from home. We've been hearing about it all over the place. Let's see here. The View has been losing people by the day. I talked in an earlier episode that Whoopi Goldberg has started working from home. Joy Behar has been working from home for a while now. Meghan McCain recently just dropped out. I believe she is pregnant, not having a baby.
She just announced that she's pregnant.
Right, so she's going to step away and just go ahead and not be a part of that. So why is The View?
Look, I don't watch the show. I don't care about it one way or another, but are they losing viewers because it's not as palatable watching them from home? Maybe?
I get it, viewers. I see what you did there.
Oh, hey, I'm slick.
I think it's something new to check out. It's definitely not the typical way that they do the show, and they're continuing to do the show. And if you can do the show from home, as you said, Al Roker was doing the weather out of his kitchen.
And it does make it more interesting.
Sure. We've seen the late night host, Stephen Colbert, did a show from his home. Jimmy Fallon. I don't know about Kimmel. I just think a lot of these guys are doing a lot of their stuff the best they can, where they are. Sure. Trying to be entertaining.
Yeah, I think Kimmel actually is still at home. David Spade, I did hear, was at home. I had all the late night stuff that I would have listened to, and I listened through all of it. And it's really weird hearing how dry all of it is, because obviously, you expect a little bit of laughter to come in after it. And just hearing that it's them kind of almost waiting for applause and laughter to happen.
That's probably what they're using. I mean, half of it's their cue. I mean, just the timing of a joke where you can get a couple chuckles before you deliver the deep punchline. And
exactly.
All of these things that you and keep in mind, most of these guys are stand-up comics at some point, too.
Right.
So, I mean, all of your life has been about hearing audiences laugh back. One of the beauties of doing radio, we don't know if we're funny.
We have no idea.
But we think we are.
Right.
So even if you're not laughing, it's all cool to,
we never hear applause or laughs.
Never.
So we just assume that every joke that we're hitting fails.
We are hilarious. We would be more comfortable doing their late night monologue. I'm used to not hearing anyone laugh.
I'm just used to assuming that this joke is actually going to land.
Hopefully.
Let's see. One wing of entertainment having a rough time has been the sportscaster. A lot of the sports have been shut down. A lot of things have been suspended for at least the entirety of its season. I know that the XFL canceled its entire season.
It's still killing you.
It is, man. I hate it.
It's killing me, too. It's just, that's the only league you bring up. With anybody, and look, because NBA, MLB, XFL, it begins and ends with XFL.
It does. That was the new league. This was the team I was going to get behind. And at first it was just suspended. Actually, at first it was just going to be nobody in the stands.
Right.
And then it got suspended. So maybe, we get pushed back just a little bit further and then full out cancel. It just teased me. It just had the little carrot at the end of the stick.
Mike even has a Seattle Dragons shirt on right now.
Currently. Absolutely, man. I'm still showing my sport. Breathing fart. Anywho, however, everybody's doing their job from home, and don't worry, I know that you guys were missing Joe Buck like crazy, but don't worry, he has given us a little bit of love here. He's gone on Twitter, and he is actually doing play-by-play at his home in his own Joe Buck way.
This is called negotiation, ladies and gentlemen. Michelle on the left is trying to prepare dinner. Wyatt on the right fighting back a yawn, dressed like kind of a half-assed Fred Flintstone. And he wants to watch Blippi, folks. Oh, and he's hit his mom. He has hit his mom. Mom is playing it up. Wyatt is crying. All hell is broken loose inside this house. Quarantine day 7.
That was just as much for Joe Buck as it was for everybody else.
I want to hear Tony Romo, because he'll tell you in advance. He's going to wake up at 9:15 and ask for orange juice. Always wants it out of the pink sippy cup. No, just watch. Sure enough, 9:15, because that's him.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of performers that are going up on live videos, and they're either playing in their bands, or they are, like we said with the late night guys, are actually doing stand-up routines up there. Joe Buck's just kind of throwing his head into that ring.
Well, not only that, but it's that's a side of Joe Buck you don't see. You don't know that he has a wife. You don't know that he has kids. He never talks about anything personal. So the idea of him just being a human being is probably more comforting to a lot of people than not, because she thought he was just a robot.
Exactly. No, I think he still plugs in at night. I think he's like your Prius.
Well, but still, he has a moment or two every once in a while.
I like it. So others working from home. We have many here at the studio that have decided to go ahead and just work from home from here. Let's not spread this thing around. And that also includes our own D. Ted Smith. Over the past couple of weeks, he had a little bit of a cough, and he's been isolated at home, making sure that he doesn't spread it around like a good man. However, he is still putting in the diligent hours to make sure that you are watching the finest of entertainment. I know that he is working absolutely incredibly hard to make sure that he knows.
Couldn't even find the words to lie.
What is on the cutting edge of TV today? So I did have one task for him. I said, Ted, I need you to watch me a new pilot show, or rather a pilot of a new show, and send it out to the people to recommend there. And he did bring me one. It is called Tiger King.
Tiger King.
Wait a minute. Wait. Now I'm going to guess.
Is this on Netflix? That show on Netflix?
This is on Netflix.
Is this like the documentary?
Correct.
Okay, please carry on.
So as you know, with Ted, he's very big into nature. He likes all the natural shows and all the animals and stuff like that. Yeah, he absolutely does, Mal. Anyway, so I looked up a little bit of a synopsis of here, the Tiger King, and this is how it goes. Among the eccentrics and cult personalities in the stranger-than-fiction world of big cat owners, few stand out more than Joe Exotic.
That's the name he has for himself.
His name is Joe Exotic.
I already hate him.
He's a mulleted, gun-toting, polygamist, and country western singer who presides over an Oklahoma roadside zoo. This man gets around.
I mean, look, to his credit, he multiple talents.
Charismatic but misguided, Joe, and an unbelievable cast of characters, including drug kingpins, con men, and cult leaders, all share a passion for big cats and the status and attention their dangerous menageries garner. But things take a dark turn when Carol Baskin, an animal activist and owner of a big cat sanctuary, threatens to put them out of business, stoking a rivalry that eventually leads to Joe's arrest for a murder-for-hire plot.
Jesus.
It reveals a twisted tale where the only thing more dangerous than a big cat is its owner.
All right. Okay. I saw a still from that. And look, like anything, I know in real life animals are bigger than we ever think they are. Right?
Okay.
And there's a picture, and I guess it has to be this guy, because the guy in the picture had the mullet. Basically, the guy in the picture looks like your description.
Right.
But there's a tiger. He's kind of like bottle feeding it or something. But it's a full-grown tiger, and it's up on its hind legs. And just either this guy is Peter Dinklage or tigers are remarkably large animals. I know they're big. It's not that. I just never wrap my head around precisely how big they are until I saw that picture. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's a really beautiful man-eater right there.
Absolutely. So that is, I told Ted, I just want the pilot episode. That's all I need from you. Just watch the one.
Yeah.
He texted me. He says he's already 4 episodes deep. He is loving this show. So that's on Netflix. Tiger King, I believe is what it was called. I've already put it away. Tiger King. So be sure to check that out on Netflix. Moving over, we're going to go into the world of sports. Miles, you did mention this a little bit earlier today. The 2020 Summer Olympics aren't scheduled to start in Tokyo, Japan for another 4 months. But with the pandemic still on the upswing in most of the world, it's hard to imagine them making that timetable. Yesterday, the International Olympic Committee admitted that they're considering postponing the games and that a final decision will come within 4 weeks. And this comes after Canada became the first country to pull out last night.
It makes sense. I mean, look, they are what they are, and it's a lot of spectacle, but in the deep heart of things, they're not important.
Right.
That's not to minimize it. I enjoy watching them, but they're not necessarily important. And when things like this go on, you start to prioritize.
And as you were bringing him up earlier, the IOC committee member, Dick Pound, USA Today is reporting that he is already saying the 2020 Tokyo Games will be postponed, most likely until 2021.
You just want to say his name.
Dick Pound?
Yeah. I mean, that's the guy's name.
What's wrong with
his
Dick?
His name is Dick Pound.
Yeah.
But he's in charge of the IOC, so you can't not hear from the guy.
Dr. Pound.
Yeah.
What is it with the Summer Olympics? I feel like the last Summer Olympics, it was the Zika virus, wasn't it?
Was it?
That everybody was having trouble with. Like, it spread all over the place because of that virus, didn't it?
So the last one was what? In Brazil? Summer Olympics?
Sounds
was that
right.
the Brazilian one? Okay.
Right.
Then the one before that was the Winter Games in Russia where they didn't have any snow.
No, the Summer Games this year was in Pyongyang.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Winter Games were in Pyongyang.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The Olympics
Time goes by too fast.
The Olympics can't catch a break, man. Good lordy.
They really can't. You have Winter Olympics, you have no snow. You have Summer Olympics, you have an infectious disease.
And nobody wants them. That's the other thing. Even when things are fine, nobody wants to take on that financial responsibility for nothing.
Team Canada said, quote, "This is not solely about athlete health. It's about public health with COVID-19 and the associated risk. It is not safe for our athletes and the health and safety of the families that and the border Canadian community for athletes to continue training towards these games. In fact, it runs counter to the public health advice, which we urge all Canadians to follow." So other countries like Brazil and Norway have called on the IOC to postpone after Canada's announcement. Australia told its athletes to already prepare for games to be held in 2021. So
that makes sense. I'm pretty sure they're prepared for that.
Exactly.
Mike, sorry, just a few quick comments. You played Joe Buck doing, what do you call it? Basically play-by-play of his child assaulting mom.
Correct.
Screw Joe Buck.
Oh, very good.
Someone else says, we were saying, look, man, it's weird for these late night hosts because, they go in front of an audience and most of them are actually pretty funny guys. And they get the laughter. But to do jokes without laughter is odd. But we do it all the time just based on the nature of what we do. Someone says, hey, I laugh at your jokes. That's from Dan and Issaquah. I feel like that's pity and somehow I feel worse. And someone else says, dude, we watched that Tiger King show last night. Definitely a trip.
All right.
Okay.
Check it out. Also new in entertainment. So as the pandemic was ramping up, a lot of events were considering having no audience. A lot of sporting events were kind of starting to muddle around the idea of no audience. Obviously, the late night shows worked with no audience before they actually went to broadcasting from home. The game shows, I think Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune said that they were going to go ahead and tape without any kind of an audience. Another one that did it is the WWE. So if you were ever wondering what it sounds like when something goes on live without an audience, don't don't worry, I have got it here for you, because WWE is soldiering on, business as usual, just with nobody in there. And as you guys recall, there is a brand new host for WrestleMania, NFL legend Rob Gronkowski, and he was introduced last night on SmackDown, and this is what that sounded like.
Introducing, for the first time ever, Rob Gronkowski!
That's his intro theme.
This sounds like a bad bar mitzvah, doesn't it? Like
it does.
You're trying to get the kids up to dance.
And Rob, being the Gronk that we know, did not skip a beat at all. He came out there fist pumping. He's dancing. He's doing the weird little jive and all that while he's up there. He's yelling all his way down into the ring. And then we actually get a little bit of audio what it is like to fight in the WWE without any sound from the audience whatsoever.
I know you know something about getting hurt. You want it to happen. It'll happen real easy, real quick. Do you understand me? Huh? That's right, baby. That's how we do it. Keep talking trash. Come on.
Threw him out of the ring.
But there's nobody there.
So these guys are basically just roughhousing in a ring.
Yeah, I mean, it has to suck for them, too.
It does. Of course it does.
Can you smell? No, okay.
Yeah, that's not that smell.
All right.
Right. Different smell.
All right, there you go.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Breaking news, Governor Jay Inslee has just announced a stay-at-home order. Here's what you can do. You can go outside for an essential activity. You can go to the grocery store, the pharmacy, or work in essential job fields. What you cannot do is gather in any way, shape, or form, including those for social, spiritual, or recreational purposes. Again, Governor Jay Inslee has just announced a stay-at-home order. More of that coming up with Mike Hawk and news. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
I'm sparkly.
I'm bubbly.
And together, we're Mineragua.
The fresh, sparkling water for those who are bubbling over with life
and crave new experiences.
Are you thirsty for adventure, more laughs, and more excitement?
With Mineragua in hand, it's easy to live life with sparkle.
Just look for the glass bottles with tiny bubbles wrapped in blue.
And you'll taste and feel the difference of Mineragua sparkling water.
Mineragua, get your fizz.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go to Michigan, where two roommates argue about the government-imposed restrictions, and now one is shot dead. Despite government warnings, Staten Island couple goes through with their plans and decided to get wed. In front of about 25 people or so. Not good. Florida man refuses sex with woman, so she roundhouse kicks him, breaking his nose. Woman feels it coming in Walmart and delivers baby in empty toilet paper rolls. And the latest essential business to stay open, GameStop. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. Governor Jay Inslee has ordered most of Washington's 7.5 million residents to stay home for 2 weeks as the state tries to slow the growing spread of the coronavirus. Miles, as you mentioned, you can kind of read most of what he lays out there on his Twitter. He says, to protect Washingtonians from COVID-19, I'm issuing a stay home, stay healthy order. Here's what it means. Effective immediately, all Washingtonians must stay home unless they are pursuing an essential activity, which includes grocery shopping, doctor appointments, and essential work duty. He says, while we minimize our physical interactions, it is crucial that we maximize our emotional connections. We are all in this together. The state built a website for all COVID-19 information, including health recommendations and resources to help workers and business. He also goes on to say, this order is enforceable by law, but the legal penalties are not what should convince people to follow these orders. The real penalty may be the loss of a loved one to COVID-19. There are 110 Washington families who can tell you the pain of that loss and what it feels like. All non-essential businesses must close within 48 hours unless all employees can work from home. Grocery stores, pharmacies, banks, and other essential business will remain open. Restaurants can continue to offer takeout and delivery services. You can still go outside, take a walk, ride a bike, garden, but you must remain 6 feet away from everyone at all times. Again, that order just went down. He says everybody needs to stay away from everybody else for 2 weeks here. Okay, moving on. Our top story, we go to this new coronavirus score in a world where a new business has dubbed itself essential retail. There are many states that have ordered the closure of non-essential retail businesses, but GameStop has decided that they fit the criteria to stay open. Given that they sell keyboards, headsets, and other gear made for telecommunications, they said that they fit the qualifications and will remain open.
Okay, but you're not essential.
They even have an employee that said, guys, they don't want our $80 keyboard. They want a POS little Microsoft keyboard for $20.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, if they actually need to get the thing replaced.
Yeah, this is all a quick stopgap.
Exactly. They don't need the brand new Razer or Alienware one for this. Moving on, another news. 2 more alcohol manufacturers are changing their tune to help with the shortening supply of hand sanitizer. Both Tito's and Anheuser-Busch are changing up their production to be able to pump out sanitizer. They're expected to have an output initially of 24 tons.
Wow. Okay, good.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, man, this is how it is. At least, people are doing good. Miles, as you alluded to earlier, you need people to step up because no one's really getting any help, right? So it is good that private companies...
take care of ourselves on this.
Yeah,
exactly. A Walmart manager in Missouri has found another use for her toilet paper aisle. In the middle of the day, a woman approached employees and alerted them to the fact that her water had just broken there inside of the store. With the help of a labor nurse that just happened to be inside the store and firefighters that arrived on the scene, her baby was delivered in the toilet paper aisle within 45 minutes to the cheers of shoppers.
What did you name your kid? Charmin? If you had to pick a toilet paper name, right, I feel like Charmin is probably the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you can name her Angel for Angel Soft, right?
Yeah.
I don't know of any of
Or if they're a drug dealer. I mean, it depends.
Kirkland.
Sure.
More feel-good news in the midst of all this stressful times. A couple in New York City went into a frenzy looking for someone to officiate their wedding after the mayor recently announced that the city's marriage bureau was closing indefinitely. After a short panic, the couple found a friend that was ordained and willing to unify the two. The two stood on the city sidewalk with family and friends standing at a safe distance as their ceremony was carried out by their friend who was on his 4th floor balcony. The pair also improvised their honeymoon by pulling their mattress into the living room to watch some Netflix.
No.
I mean, it sounds nice, but on the other hand, weddings can be dull, so now I'm just sitting at home and I have to sit through a wedding I'm not invited to because there's a guy on the 4th floor. Do you? That's when you take the opportunity. If anyone here has a reason these two people shouldn't be wed, like, I don't know, maybe I can think of something.
Because they did this. Now we head down to Orlando, where hotel security guard noticed a peculiar sight at 1:30 in the morning. We may have covered this a little bit earlier today. He saw a man pushing a trash can towards his Honda van before removing a bag and placing it in his car. The guard investigated to find that the bag was full of unused rolls of toilet paper. After being confronted, the man admitted to the theft and he was arrested.
Yeah, I mean, right, he got a felony for $65 worth of theft.
Right.
But it's because it is toilet paper right now. And the thing is,
it's 99 cents a roll. What's he going to get for it?
What's so mind-blowing about this? Well, if you got a donut and what's so mind-blowing about this, it's just that's not the most important thing, but we have determined that it's the most essential product.
And then we just put this out there. We don't need to panic buy at this point. Again, grocery stores are still open here in the state. You can still go grocery shopping.
They're open.
Right. Let's not clog them. Still in Orlando, a woman receiving felony charges after her conduct with a paramedic. Let's say police were called to her home on a domestic violence call, and turns out that she had propositioned her boyfriend for sex, which he had turned down. Never mind. You know what? I can't get to the end of it. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hogg is out.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it again. Governor Jay Inslee has ordered a 2-week lockdown. All the details are at his website or at his Twitter page as well, as far as you can go out and exercise and all that, but essentials only. Grocery store, drug stores, you get the idea.
But in the meantime, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Mom, I'm a little worried. I don't feel ready to be back at school. I did well last year, but that was because I was home and could work at my own pace.
You know, Eric, we thought the same thing. And that's why we've been looking at Laurel Springs School. It's an online school with great teachers who are there for you with a more personalized approach to learning.
Mom, this is amazing. Laurel Springs School will be such a great fit. I can work from home and then focus on getting ready for college. I can even access my courses if we're traveling.
Visit laurelsprings.com to learn more about a unique way of getting your child the personalized education they need. For 30 years, Laurel Springs School has been engaging global learners in grades kindergarten through 12th grade and integrating their passions and pursuits. Laurel Springs School. We build an education around you. Call or go online today.